You received a call from an inmate at the Department of Corrections. This call will be recorded and monitored.
Well, hello, Marcel Green. How are you? I haven't heard from you in a while. So exactly what happened? Okay. Part 2. Wait a minute. You're not going to tell me why you're in the hole because I got to wait till part 2? Well, yeah, I do like to put this on the podcast, but okay, so a part 2 of the podcast is going to show why you went to the hole. It better be, okay. Whatever. Yeah, of course. You always got to tell a joke. Okay, what's your joke this time? I don't know, Marcel. Why did the chicken go to prison? Crimes. What? Crimes? Okay, look. I don't. No, I don't have any good. All right, but let's see. Alexa, tell a joke.
Why did the farmers leave a tomato to their grandchild? It was an heirloom.
Okay, was that funny? Was that good enough for you? Okay, this man, he says he's going to disappear at the count of 3. So he starts counting. 1, 2, and then he disappeared without a 3. Huh? Well, I don't know. You and your jokes. You must keep them in stitches over there at the prison. That's all I have to say. You must keep them in stitches. Hey, well, at least you learn something new. But I don't know about this crime thing. Okay. So you're not going to tell me why you were in the hole. And why I haven't heard from you in a while. Oh. Well, okay, now that makes it interesting. So maybe I can entice the listeners. You were in the hospital. Okay, it's never a dull moment with you. There's always something going on. That's the good thing. Well, yeah, that's a sore spot with me. I just don't get why juries and the justice system will lock folks up and to be well, yeah, okay. You went to prison for, illegal drug activity. Okay, that's a give me. And yet, here we are paying upwards of $5,000 a month for you to stay there, and you get medical, you get your 3 meals, you get a place to sleep. Yeah, I know, and that's one thing I emphasize. You are locked away from society. You don't have the freedom. And one of the best things about America is your freedom. And when people take that away, that's not a good thing. And that's what folks have got to realize. When you go to prison, that loss of freedom is a huge, huge punishment. And it doesn't make up for cable TV or classes at the local community college or something. You're locked away and relatives and friends could die and you won't be able to go to the funeral.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
And your last communication with them is there. But you do have a good point. I'm glad you mentioned that. Now I'm curious as to why you were in the hospital and why you went to the hole. So I guess we'll just have to wait till you call back and do another episode. Okay, go ahead. Keep it up. But this better be worth it.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
All right, I'll definitely let him know. And how you doing? You feeling better? You on the heel? Or on the mend? Oh, yeah, okay. Good. Well, that's exactly what I want to hear. Well, you take care of yourself and stay out of trouble. I can't emphasize that enough. Ew, my God. Whatever. Hey, welcome to AQS Inmate Call. I am your host, Joel Wilborn, and we just got off the phone with Marcel Green, who's in prison for distribution of illegal drugs. He's one of those little kingpin guys that everybody wants to get off the street. He doesn't deny what he did, and he doesn't oppose his sentence. He figures he got what he deserved. He's supposedly on the mend, but he's my little comedian, and it's always a good thing to talk to him. He's in good spirits. But I must say, he said a joke, and I don't quite catch it. I don't know. Hopefully, you guys will understand what that means. Why did the chicken go to prison? Crimes? Well, okay. He wasn't a big fan of my jokes, but oh well. To each his own. One thing he did bring up, though. The cost of an inmate in prison. Now that right there, the statistics are mind-boggling. It could be anywhere between $4,000 and $8,000 a month per inmate to be held in prison. Now, let's say, we'll use Marcel as an example. Let's say $5,000 is what it cost us, the taxpayer, to keep this person in prison. One person. Now, for me, I don't make that much a month. And my expenditures, I got a budget pretty well to get through the month. It's not easy. Funds are tight. And with the high cost of gas and food and the short supply of a lot of goods out there, during this pandemic, it's not that easy to make ends meet. Yet you have court systems that look at a person and say, we're going to lock you up, not for 1 5-year sentence, but we're going to make them consecutive. So you're sentenced for 2 different crimes. We'll sentence you for 5 years, and once you finish that one, we'll get you set up for another 5 years. And so in that 10 years you're locked away, we are going to pay $5,000 a month, plus any extra medical bills, or if you have any special needs or something. Maybe a person gets a sex change or certain, medications for their gender identity. I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm just saying that this is an extra cost in the prison. And we're paying for it. And we want to lock them up for long periods of time. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm 100% against crime. I think we'd have a better life if we can get rid of it. I just don't think locking people up for consecutive sentencing and paying for them to sit in prison, I don't think that's the way to go. I believe there are other ways to do it. And one of them is supportive relationships, which is Marcel Green. He's real good at that. He's in contact with his folks, and they are influencing him. They were helping him to relax, accept his sentence, and get out and become a better person and never go back. That's what he wants. He wants to become a better person than when he went in. And he's taking advantage of the classes and the programs and the special events and stuff they do. Anything he can to keep his mind off of the negative stuff that drove him into that prison in the first place. Why can't we put a person on in-house? Limit them there. I live with a woman who was on house arrest. She had a monitor on her ankle. And there were times that she would go into the backyard, and we had a little garage back there. And it was out of the range. So when she walked out to this garage, she went out of the range. And, of course, the probation officer would call, like, what's going on? And, to a certain extent, it worked. And it allowed her to realize her limitations, see who her true friends were, the people who could actually come out, because there was no scanning and no criminal check or background check or anything for these visitors. People could come by and see her. And, it didn't happen a lot. Not a lot of people came by to see her. And it just got her to thinking, how important is she to their lives? What does her existence mean to them? And then you got those that's locked in a prison. They have to go through the whole process. I can't visit anybody in the state of Washington because they don't want me to. And so I have to go by the phone and go by relatives. So it's like a handicap for me. I can't visit my fiance, so I meet her family. I meet her friends. I meet their friends. And the supportive relationship grows. Some people that I never would have connected with. How's my fiance doing? Did you visit her? Did you do a video chat? How's she look? I'm building this relationship that I never, ever would have gotten into if I wasn't banned from visiting everybody in the state. So to look at people being locked up and the benefit of spending all that money for a long period of time, I can't see the justification for it. I'm a conservative. I believe that we should be careful with how we spend our money. Let's save more than spend. And opening prisons all across the United States and filling them up beyond capacity and paying $5,000 a month per inmate, and then these people could go out and commit another crime and go back again. And then here we are starting over again. Wouldn't it make sense to get them into programs that try to find out what it was that caused them to go down the wrong path? Why did they commit these crimes? What can we do to prevent it from ever happening again? I think that would be a better way to spend the money. And in some cases, it might cost a little more than $5,000 a month. But if we don't stick them in there for consecutive sentences, maybe give them a 3-year sentence and then work strongly on that, maybe make deals with them. A lot of people are willing to make the deals. We'll give you an assessment test when you get in, and after a year, if you can improve on your results, or if you can improve on some counseling or classes, then we'll relook at your sentence. Maybe by a year thing, relooking at the sentence. I've had more success with the folks I've helped because I'm there for them. They call me up. They have somebody to talk to. If they need a ride someplace, or they need a character witness or a reference, that's easy for me to do, and it's relatively inexpensive. Knowing that I'm there and knowing that there are other folks there that we can all get together with makes a big difference for them. And my folks, the folks I help, do not go back to prison. The recidivism is going down because we are working together as a team to keep the folks from going back to prison, giving them a reason to stay within the lines and not break any laws. And sometimes just simply sitting down and for a hug or a game of cards. everybody likes to be a part of a group. And there are some folks that I know, their way of thinking is way off in left field. They just don't think the way we see things in society. Doesn't mean that they're odd or they should be locked away. It doesn't mean that they should be chastised or expelled from society. It just means that they need to find people that are more in tune with their beliefs and their likes and their hobbies. And with supportive relationships, we can find that for them. You know, I know one prisoner, she's really into Gothic. I don't know a lot of Gothic people, but when she gets out, we can work together and find other Gothic people and find Gothic groups and let her get in with those people. And if I can get a heads up on them before she gets out, I can sit with them and explain what's going on and how this girl is having a hard time in the world and how she doesn't like to be mocked or bullied because she believes in Gothic. You know, there's things these folks go through, and they'll say, yes, I know what she's going through. I know how she feels, and this is what I did. And share it with them. Talk. Open up the communication. It doesn't work for everybody. And if you can give a person a reason, they'll come around. You know, I've seen it happen. I'm not just saying this because I read it in a book. I've experienced folks reaching out and then they have a hand. In my YouTube video, Oxyword, there's one of the people I was interviewing is saying that in order to prevent crime from happening to some high schoolers and stuff, you need to reach out to them and help them out. And some of them don't require a lot. You know, we think that they're going to need gold bullions in the bank or, you know, a big fancy car. They don't. Just somebody that will pick up the phone and listen to them when they're upset. Somebody who will pick them up if they're stranded at the bus station. It's not that hard. And there's a section on the AmericanQuitInSociety.org website of pen pal where you can go on and get the contact information of somebody who's in prison and reach out to them. Just ask, you know, what's going on with you? How do you feel? You'd be surprised at how, well, shall we say, normal they are. And once they feel that somebody's out there who cares about them and they're not alone, they begin to feel a little more confident. And people who believe in themselves and know they can survive out there without getting addicted to drugs, without stealing from other folks, and without giving up and falling in with the, you know, gangs where they feel that the gangs will say whatever they need to just to get the people in. Like your mom doesn't care about you. Your brother would be here if he really loved you. That kind of stuff is easy to manipulate people. And the only reason they fall into that is because there's nobody else out there. Let's be that person. Let's save $8,000-$9,000 a month for something that's not even guaranteed to work. There's always got to be a backup, and we can eliminate a lot of that cost by doing the backup first, giving them supportive relationships, understanding what's going on. There's no one button fixes everybody. We could have 10 people with 10 different issues that need 10 different solutions. It's worth it to find them. It's worth it to get these folks the support that they need. It's a lot to go on their immediate family. And some of them feel guilty in the first place anyway. So I would say reach out to these folks. Just say hi. Just say, oh my God, now I get that joke. Oh, look at this. It took me the entire podcast to understand why did the chicken go to prison. Oh, boy. Wait till he calls back. Okay, well, oh, my goodness. Ooh, yeah, I got it. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Go out. Have yourself a fantastic day. And make wonderful memories for tomorrow.